So a lot of people actually hate the idea of working a job and having your business at the same time. But in today's episode, I want to talk about why I actually think there are a ton of benefits to running your business and working a job at the same time. So it kind of goes without saying, a lot of people would rather quit what they're doing and start doing whatever it is that they love, that they have a passion around, far more than they would love to keep working their current job. Maybe it's not something that they're passionate about, or even they just really hate the company in general. So I think that if you do hate your job, then obviously there's other options available for you. And I know even I got into that kind of place where you just feel stuck. You hate where you are, but you don't really want to go anywhere else. And it just is a very uncomfortable position because you got to look at your benefits and your income and the value that you have. And do you lose, some of your rank at your company to potentially go someplace else, slower growth, work, worse, not employees per se, but coworkers and situations, harder to get time off. These are all questions that I know that kind of goes through everybody's mind, and definitely went through mine when I was considering, if I should look for another company to work for or whatever the case is. But regardless as to the where you're working, obviously, it could be definitely greener on the other side, but it can sometimes get better for where you are as well. And so I know I want to talk about, some of the benefits of actually doing both at the same time, your job and doing your company or the business that you want to start full-time or part-time at least. So it's going to be tough, first of all. I don't think it kind of goes without saying that it's going to be work. There will be times where you're tired. There will be times where you really just will have to push through, even though you don't want to. And even though you may not want to in that moment, the payoff later on down the road will be far more and just more gratifying in the end. And so some of the benefits when you're talking about, doing both at the same time, you really want to go through all the stuff that everybody doesn't go through at your job. And what I mean by that is that there's always some kind of, pamphlet, or most of the time it's like the intranet or the internal internet system that the company has for your benefits, for perks of being an employee and all that extra other stuff. So one of the things I always look for is like the discounts. What are some of the ways that I can start to save money personally versus me just trying to do everything myself? In the same way that even if you are starting a nonprofit or a ministry or something like that, there are benefits that nonprofits have even just over regular home-based business and small business entrepreneurs and companies, and vice versa. There are some things that we have access to, or maybe we can move faster in certain ways versus, having to necessarily go through a board for decision making and processing and things like that. But when it comes to working a job, it's pretty straightforward, but you can get some benefits. So one of those things, like I said, is some of the discounts and all of that. Every website, every company has, or like their internal thing, they'll have some kind of benefits, especially if it's a major corporation. So if you're working someplace like an Enterprise Rent-A-Car or Hertz Rent-A-Car, for example, they have benefits and packages for some of everything you can think of, from, your phone, whether you're with like Sprint or Verizon or one of the major carriers. They usually have something where it could be 10, 15, even 20% off of your phone bill. They have where I know with the company I was with, they had where you can even get camera stuff. They had some company that would sell, tech and camera gear, and you could get a discount, maybe like 20% off of, let's say, a lens or a camera or something like that. You just had to go through either the link that they provided in the intranet, or you had to go to, the site and then put in a specific coupon code, set up an account maybe, or something like that. There's different parameters depending on what it is. So there are all kinds of stuff that you can do. Like I said, your phone bill is definitely just like for any major corporation. That's one. When I went to my trip last year, when I went to Las Vegas for Grow with Video Live, and I'm going back there again. So if you're going, comment down below. Let me know. I'd love to meet up with you and chat with you and connect with you there. And so I got a chance to use all of the perks when it came to the flight benefits, rental car, everything except for the Airbnb where I stayed at. But everything that I could think of, I'm like, what is the benefit for what I'm doing over here with the company, and the benefits that I get as an employee that I can use to my benefit for working my passion. And so that was something that I was able to do. They even have sometimes like credit card company. Most people are going to have some kind of credit line somewhere. So it's beneficial to do that. One of the biggest perks, though, when it came, like, you got to think of the tools and the systems and the processes that you're going to be using in your current business. If you were running this business full time today, what are some of the things that you would need? At the time, I was a PC user, and about once or twice a year, they would have where we could get I think it's like 3 or 4 different programs within the Microsoft Office suite for $15. Like, that whole thing, I'm sure it costs a couple $100. The whole thing for like $15. And just like whatever, it's not like a yearly license thing or something like that, but it was like the full suite. So on my PC computer, I have the full Microsoft Office suite because I paid $15 for it because of the company perk that I had, and it doesn't expire. It doesn't matter if I'm, still employed there or not. Obviously I'm not, but it's just one of those things that I think that if you look at the ways and the things that you need to do and that you want to accomplish in your company, then you will really start to piece together what are some of the perks of me being here. Another and last piece that I'll share with you is the 401k savings. So the company I was with, they had up to, once you get to a certain amount in your 401k, then they would match it. And so at the end of the year, as long as you met up to that certain number, or you had that certain number there, then they would match your 401k, and they would do that year after year after year. And so I would do that. From the paid time off that I would get, I would try to have days where I double my income. So I had a couple goals when I would work. So I want to have days where I would come in, and because I got a coaching client or something like that, I made more at that time with a coaching client in the hours and the sessions that we have, and we would book together for that. I would make more with that one client in several hours versus in a whole pay period, just solely by having a coaching client. And so I would have those kind of days where I know I've done in several hours with one client and gotten paid. I've got more money than what I've got at my job at the time, or at one point, just for the income differences. And so that was amazing. And so the biggest thing for me too was if I knew I had to work a day, I know I worked back in the day, I worked at Macy's in their credit card area, credit customer service area. And so I would come in, and it's like a Saturday, like the worst day I hate to work, like a 10 a.m. shift or something like that. I hate it. And then I would come in, but I got the biggest grin on my face because I know I have already made more money than I will make scheduled to be there that entire day. So I just would set like little goals like that for times when I could, or if I was, like really pushing and grinding, trying to do something, then I would set goals like that for myself to either match or go over what I would make in a 2-week period, in a pay period, with a coaching client or something like that, or with just picking up clients in general. Or I would try to match what I'm going to do for that day so that I know that me being here at work is extra. And I'm getting all the benefits and the discounts and all that extra other stuff from having this job as well. And then like my favorite thing would be the paid time off. So if I'm taking a day off, unless I literally wasn't feeling well because I'm, having challenges with the endometriosis, maybe it's like a bad time for me, then that's the only time I really would rest, but I never really would actually rest. I still would have an audiobook playing at the very least, or learning and taking notes, even though I'm laying in the bed for the times like I'm in between, feeling okay or getting up to eat or something. I watch a YouTube video while I'm sitting up to do something. I would maximize my time every minute that I could. And if I took a day off, or I would, like my last 3 vacation periods that I took, I had nothing planned. I wasn't going anywhere. I simply just would take that week off so that I could have an entire week to myself and be at home, not have to worry about work, not have to worry about any of the frustrations of working at the company. And I'm getting paid, and I'm also making money as well in my business. And so I think that when you put the right thought process and you maneuver and you not just like try to rip the company off or something like that, because all the value that I could bring to myself and that I would make in my company, I would actually redirect some of those skills and talents and the benefits and the ideas and just things that I would learn and take it there. Most people, like it was a lady, she asked me, and I'll end with this. She asked me, she said, I'm sure because of what you're doing in your business on the side, you don't even care about this place anymore. And at the time, that wasn't true. It was not until really like that latter half of me being there that it was just like extremely, extremely tough for me. But at the time when she asked me the question, I told her the honest truth, which was no. Like, it did not bother me because I knew that there were those days that were happening where I've maxed what I'm going to make for this whole pay period. Like, guaranteed, I've met that. And then I've done a little bit more with a coaching client, or a couple coaching clients, or that I already made as much as I'm going to make today when I was at home. Like, whatever I'm going to make here at work today, I know I've already made that money in my business. And so, but I told her, like I said, I bring value, and I still try to consistently add value to what I'm doing in the company, even though maybe things aren't going well, maybe things aren't quite where I would ideally like them to be. I'm still bringing value, increasing my importance, increasing my value and my skills on my time, but I'm bringing those benefits there. And if you may ask yourself, why would you do that? Like, screw them. It's not about the job. It's about whatever, because they're paying your bills. They're paying your bills. They're paying for your food. They're paying for you to be able to afford to do whatever it is, just regular living right now, even if they're doing a bad job at it and you're getting kind of underpaid. And there was definitely plenty of times where I was certainly underpaid. But at the same time, it also, like, my whole premise is make as much money as you can while you're there. So bring as much value as you can while you're there. So hopefully this office chats helped you out today. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. But otherwise, that's where I'm going to leave it there. And I'll see you guys in the next video.